Mark Horn brought over the last newsletter that we had in the Siddur from February 28th and 29th, 2020. So it says, the newsletter. How I missed people saying things like that. I mean, that. How would that even look in Zoom? It would be like, So feel free to interrupt at any moment. It's all beautiful people. You know, I see masks, but really I don't see masks. Like, I see smiles and friends. And friends here too. We've made a lot of friends over the year. Many of you, like my father-in-law Elliot, relaxing in his office, who would otherwise not be here. Some of you in Mexico, some of you in Yerushalayim, some of you maybe around the corner, and will make your way here at some point over the coming weeks. See Robin and Jack David and Aunt Joni and Carol and Bracha. And here in the sanctuary, everyone, I see Mark, Ramit, Ed, Neil, Mishpacha, family. So, welcome home.
Yeah.
So I never had this experience before. And never the experience of when I close my eyes, I feel like I'm over on Baal Tashchis. What that means is that maybe it's kind of a scarcity model where there's so much food you think you have to eat all of it. And I feel like when I close my eyes, there's this huge feast that I'm not partaking of, you know. So I want to ask your forgiveness. I sometimes need to close my eyes. Just seeing all of you, it's remarkable. So I think that for the last 14 months, there hasn't been one Shabbat when we sang Higalena that I didn't think about us taking off our masks and feeling ufros, that there's safety. And so in here in the sanctuary, those who are with us at home, we can see your faces, and here in the sanctuary, people are wearing masks, but slowly, in Galena, we're taking them off. So whatever that means to you this evening, taking something off that is covering a more tender, more vulnerable, more open, more exposed place, I invite you into that space. Galena. Returning to the same place, but with new songs. Shir Kaddish, Shiru Adonai, Kol haaretz, Shiru Adonai, ברכו שמו, בעשו מיום ליום, ישועתו ואת כל העמים נפלותה, כי גדול אדוני ומולל מאוד, נורא הוא הכל אלוהי, כי כל אלוהי העמים מלילים, ואדוני שמיים בשר, עוד הדר עוד תפארת מקדשו, עבור אדוני משפחות עמים, עבור אדוני עבור אדוני כבוד שמו, שאו מנחה ובאו לחצותיו, השתחוו לאדוני והדרת קודש, הגרילו מפניו, מרוב הגויים הוויה מלך, אף תיכון תבל, ידין אביב, ישמחו השמיים ותגר, יקרם היה ירד לו צעדי בכל שמו, oh my yeah oh oh ya baba ya baba ya baba baba ya baba ya baba ya baba baba ya ya la 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 oh my ya la 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 oh na ya oh baba ya baba ya baba la 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 oh baba ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 oh baba ya baba ya baba baba. Please remain standing if you're able. Psalm 29 on page 17 and 18.
This
Hey! 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 Adonaï, Evot Shemo Ishtachamu Lavai, Behadat Kodesh, Al Hamayim El HaKavorim, Ovatu, Al Mayim Rabim, Hey, ay, 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 Kol Havaya, Ehadai, שווה עננים, מה שווה אדון, ארץ הלבנון, היה קינן, כמו לבנון, ושעיר יומון, כמו ונראים, כל אדוני עוזר לעמוד אש, יכיל אדוני מי בקדש, כל אדוני חולל הידו, ולילי די ידי די David, Ariella, Neshama, Amarai Rabin, John, oh, Brian Moisen, don't never Amo Bashat, didn't lie, pearls, didn't lie, Amarai. It's okay, you can get up in your house and just dance with us, it's okay. Crank up the volume. So as we're standing here, just something that 14 months ago we stopped doing together, which was breathing together. The breath of life that flows between us and around us and through us. So just breathing together, feeling the ground beneath your feet. Even in this place, we can circle dance together. And when you're ready, please be seated. Malachut לעולם ועד. All of the energies, all of the voices, all of the longings, all of the lights, as we offer them back, seeking renewal. All of the souls who come to us on Shabbat, all the memories that we lift. One more time, Chabra. Thank you, Lord. Malchuso leolam va'ed. What would a Friday night service at West End be without the sounds of New York? So within this sacred container, inviting us to take 2 minutes just to check in with the body, with the heart, the mind. And wherever you are at home, we hope that you're able to maybe close your eyes, maybe turn off your video and just bring awareness. A simple, gentle awareness to what is at this moment. And as we read about the spies this week in the Torah, the 12 leaders who were sent to observe, we too send awareness into this body, into this heart, to notice. And take one more minute. And let's breathe together. Inviting Chazan Schechter to bring the first poem in 14 months in our sacred sanctuary.
Send them. Send them into the land of duality, the land of either or, the hills of now or never, the valleys of yes or no, right there on the polar shores of weak or strong, do or die, milk or blood, There is a river, they say, that flows with goat's milk and date honey. But they will not remove their sandals or dip their tongues. They are too weak and afraid to let the warm air brush their backs or the water lap around their tired, slave-driven arms. They are being sent to find out about the enemy, reconnaissance or a voyage, yes or no. Holds no beauty, carries no scent, in, out, whistles no song, and utters no sounds worth hearing. Those are soldiers of extreme distinction, right there in the highest vision of themselves, shown to them through the nature's mirror. They have the chance to enter into the promised land. Instead, on a mossy knoll sits the grasshopper in shock. Right there, in that place, home becomes exile. A liminal wandering, war-torn pondering how to explore this dream which lives in the world of in-between and therefore, for now, impossible.
שמור וזכור השמיענו אליך אדוני אחד ושמה אחד לשם ותפארת לשם ותפארת ולתהילה לך דודי בני שבת Laura, oh lechadodi likras kala bnei Shabbat nika
לקראת שבת
לכו ונלכה כי מקור הברכה מראש
מקדם נסוכה
סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה
לחדותי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה
חדותי עוד קלה בני שבת let the face of peace shine through התנערי קומי,
לבשי בגדי
תפארתך עמי,
על יד בן ישי,
ותלכני.
קורבה את נפשי גאלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת
לך דודי, לקראת קלה,
בני
שבת התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי שיר דברי. כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקרא. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקמה בלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת בני שבת נקבלה, לא תבושי ולא תקלבי, מה תשתוקקי ומה תחמיגי.
בחסו עניי עמי, ונקנתו ימי
אוי לך דודי, אוי לקראת קלה, אוי בני שבת נקבלה, ימינוס לא סוסייך ורחקו כומר עלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, ימסוס חתן על קלה. אוי לך דודי, אוי לך קלה, בני שבת נקבלה, ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני אריצי, על יד איש ואת פרצי, ונשמחה סיני. יא חמוד, אוי לקראת קלה, אוי בני שבת נקבלה, בני שבת נקבלה, היי נה 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 יא נה 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 נה, היי נה 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 יא נה 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 נה, היי נה 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 יא נה 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 נה, היי נה 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 יא נה 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 נה, אוי לך דודי, בני שבת נקבלה, לה 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 יא לה 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 לה, לה 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 יא לה 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 לה. בני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי. שבת, בני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום, עטרת בנה, גם בשמחה ובצוהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה שבת המלכה, איי 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 לך דודי, איי איי איי
לקרס קלה, בני שבת
The mystery of Shabbat is such. It's the mystery of two that become one, and one that become two. So as we, two communities, Zoom and in the room, and in the Zoom, in the room, in the Zoom. Raza is room and Zoom.
What's the secret?
R1, Aleph. Raza, room, Zoom, Aleph.
Es yachadat letata beraza The mystery of Shabbat is the integration of matter and spirit of all of life into an integrated
delicate and intricate web of existence. And when we are together, when we as a community gather, when communities gather, they bring the possibility of healing and wholeness. And Shabbat is, in that way, a Sam Chayim. It's a medicinal part. And so we pray for those who need healing tonight in body, heart, mind, and spirit. Those within this community and beyond. You'll see some of the names on the screen in front of you for those of you who are on the Zoom and those of you in the room as well, as we bring our attention and pray, healer of the brokenhearted.
Healer of the broken-hearted, binder of our wounds, counter of uncountable stars. You know who we are. Hallo finish fulele, ומחפש לעצמותם, מונה מספר לכוכבים, וכולם שמות יקרא.
May the one who blessed our ancestors heal all of those whom we brought to heart. Inspire us to reach out to them, to pray for them, to lift them up, including them in our prayers as all of your children. Shabbat hi milazoak. May healing come soon. And let us say, Amen. Amen. You can be seated now for a couple of minutes. Shabbat Shalom, Romemu. One more time. Shabbat Shalom, Romemu. We're so thrilled to be here in the room with all of you here tonight, and so thrilled to be bringing together these two remarkable portals into presence, the room and the Zoom. And thank goodness for all of our Zoomers out there. Hello, Elliot Figman, Carol, Foreman, hey, everybody. We're so excited. All of the people in the room here, Neely, can see you on the screen. Carol, Ann Shine, we can see you. Laura Wolf, we can see you. And we hope that you can see some of us, maybe not all of us, but we're gonna get this thing. But we're here together. Some of them I can hear, and some of you I can see and hear also, even through the screen. So a couple of announcements just for both or all of our community will be on the screen in front of you. I'll be leading, together with a remarkable faculty, a in-person meditation retreat. It's an opportunity for you to be a bit in silence and also to do some of the work that maybe silence alone can do. It'll be on June 14th through the 20th at Isabella Friedman up in Connecticut. We invite you. We still have spaces available. It should be a remarkable opportunity for us to heal and to connect. We have prayer wherever you are in the Romemu Yeshiva that happens every Tuesday and Thursday as well for the entire community. One more week of Romemu Yeshiva activities. That's exciting. I haven't turned to anyone in the middle of announcements in 14 months. There you go. So I just did something I haven't done. Shechiano, everything is new. Upcoming, we have a remarkable set of programs. Awakening Strength Through Social Justice, a food justice panel. We want to hear your voice in our reopening survey. Please take that survey. We've already heard from over 300 of you. Thank you all if you took the survey. It's really giving us really important information about how we are to open up as we open up. The Roma Weekly Yeshiva newsletter has sparks from the windows, really insights from the cohort of Romemu Yeshiva Next, over, I think, 25 of them, insights around the week's learning. We're learning with Rabbi Jill Hammer, some remarkably deep Torah on Sefer Yetzirah. And don't forget, everybody, that on Sunday, June 6th, just a Sunday, we're going to have our clothing drive and community kitchen family day. Experiencing operating difficulties, please stand by. Exactly. I'm just going to say, what can we say? Romemu's ice hockey team will be meeting on Mondays at whatever's first to mind.
You wish.
It's summertime, Oh, of course, Mazel Tov to our amazing Rabbi Diane Kohler-Esses, who will be receiving an honorary doctorate from the JTS Seminary this Sunday. Unbelievable. She's just an incredible human being, an incredible rabbi. That's really wonderful. And you also were featured in a theological journal. I love that article. That was your article. Is there anything else? Did I miss anything? I feel like I'm like on Conan O'Brien. Anything that I missed? Anything? Jeffrey, did I miss anything in the announcements? Right. Okay, how about this one? Is there anybody here for the first time? Anybody from Brooklyn? Eddie's from Brooklyn. Brooklyn. We are so thrilled. If anyone is with us for the first time on Zoom, the chat will be open for us to take a look and say hello. Anything that might be here, I'm going to walk over and see. Andy Adams is here. The feedback there, Matt? Yeah. There's going to... I know. Can you lower me? Yeah, thanks. So Andy Adams and Lillian and Uncle Nathan are here for the first time. And Riad Maya, Carla Potts. Shana Dean, you're not here for the first time. This might be the healing list, friends. This might be the healing list. Yeah, I think that's the healing list. Well, we wish them healing. And if there's anyone here for the first time, we'll find out soon enough. We wish them healing, and we hope... Exactly. Long time. First time this year. Everyone here is here for the first time. That's true. We hold in my hand that began here tonight with the gift that Mark Horn gave me from his Siddur, one of the last newsletters from 14 months ago that was still there. Almost felt like blowing off some dust. It's like, here's a relic of a world. And like the dry bones of Ezekiel, we're blowing into those places and saying, these dry bones have life force in them. These spaces, these seats have been saturated with century or more of prayers and longings, and certainly a decade of our own longings. In the very space where some of you are sitting, I can still see Evelyn Goodman, Allah Shalom. I can see Robert Gedalia dancing his circle. I can see the great Magid Yitzhak Buxbaum. And now I can see a new, old path. My sister. We all have tears and shock and healing and vitality, and all of it is mixed together, as it should be. To be human is to have those things mixing all at once. And so into this sacred container, in a space where tears of joy and tears of sadness have been mixing for such a long time, we bring those memories of community, those places where we looked for over a decade around the room and said hello with our eyes and our smiles, and said, hey, human. Hey, person. Hey, holy set of life experiences and gifts and challenges, and all of us together as one. This past year has put so many things that were childish in perspective, haven't they? Fights and disagreements. Places where ego caught me, caught us, fell away as what was essential remained. And I think what is essential is this moment here. Family, by blood, by choice. One big human family. So to all of you there, we can't wait to hold your hand. And for all of you here, please rise if you're able. And look around the room. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, I'm not high, I'm ay, 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 oh. Ay, 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 da, da. Da, da. Hey, yeah, yeah, da, oh. Hey, ya, ya. Barechu es Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai, HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Narai honai nai yanai nai. Narai honai nai yanai nai. Nai honai yanai וכעת שכינה אלתנו חי העולמים ימי ביסיד אל אשר בדברם הריבה הרבים חוכמה פותחת שערים ובתבונה משמעיתים ומחליפת הזמנים מסדרת את הכוכבים נשמתים ומעביר היום ומודיע הלילה ומבדילה בין יום ובין לילה יצות שמו אלא חיה וקיימת תמיד תמלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה חיה המעריבה ערבים הנאי נאי 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 כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגד יומם ולילה ויעבדך לא תסור ממנו ay 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 לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל Shema
Israel, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai. ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ומלאכתך בדרך ושוכבך וקומך ושבתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות ואין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך.
למען יבואו עמכם ממבניכם לעבוד באשר באדוני לאבותיכם לתת להם כימי השמיים על הארץ ויום נראה אדוני משה לאמור לדבר בני ישראל למטה עליהם יעשו להם מציתים הגן ובגדיהם לא עושים מולדתי וישם עושו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ותישם עושם לא תעשו עליו את דברכם ואתם לעיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תסגרו ועשיתם את כל מצוות ועשיתם לשכניכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר צאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אדוני אלוהיכם אמן. Such a long way to go, such a long way to go. Freedom's highway is a long, long way. But we have songs that fuel our passion, that fuel our hope, that fuel our faith. מי כמוך בעידים אדוני.
מי כמוך
yam
בוקר ים,
לפני משה ומרים
לפני משה ומרים. זה לי,
זה לי
אנו ויאמרו,
אנו ואמרו
אדוני ימלוך,
אדוני ימלוך
לעולם ועד,
לעולם ועד.
כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו יד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה
God, shelter all of those who need shelter tonight. God, please, all of those who need a soft pillow to rest their weary heads. Bring peace to this troubled world.
ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך והושיענו. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך
Guide us with wisdom
והושיענו.
so that we might flourish.
ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך הושיענו. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הבורא סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ירושלים.
Amen. Please rise if you're able, everyone here and in the Zoom. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת
לעשות
es yamim es hashamayim let's be Kaddish.
Yitkadal, 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 Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Adirach Yehudei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechol
ובימיכם ובחיי בכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן טוב אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ימי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר יתרומם יתנשא הדר יתעלה שמי דקודשה נאמין כבד חסה ושיר עשה תושבך ונחם עשה דמי and let us say We invite you to moments of reflection at home in the Zoom or here in the space with the traditional Amidah or with your own words or silence as we stand together in the presence of the One. Oh Vayehi Lishua Ozi Zilat Yam Vayehi
You may be seated.
Here we are, everyone. Hazi males chokpinu ulishonenu rina. Returning to this place filled with joy and with laughter and tears and dancing. It can feel at various moments hayinu kicholmim, as if we're dreaming. Did it really happen? Here we are again in this space where 14 months ago we were dancing on Shabbat of the Child. And then Purim. And then. And so here we are. In many ways, this is a rebirth moment. In many ways, this is a moment like the one when I was so blessed to become a father on July 23rd, 2009, when Bear was born. I remember not the first, but one of the first thoughts was, what's the parsha for my son's bar mitzvah? So what's the parsha for this rebirth? What's the portion of the week, the biblical weekly wisdom that accompanies us in all of our various places, in all of our various destinations and detours? What is the wisdom that we'll be reading tomorrow morning? And how is it the wisdom that we need for this moment? Tomorrow morning, Parshat Shlach Lecha, the book of Numbers, brings us the story of the spies. 12 leaders, Anshe Shem, big shots. Leaders with pedigree, with resumes. Each one of them chosen, each one of them with their own leadership skills from the Kennedy School or from wherever. They studied with, maybe with Marshall or with you, Scott. Leaders, all of them. And the story that we're told in the Torah is the story of these leaders who very quickly become two camps, the 10 and the 2. The 10 who come back and say, wow, it was just as we imagined. Look, Kedem, wine, grape juice, and big things, and it's really beautiful. It's an incredible land. And the 2 who said, yeah, we saw that too. And then the 10 who say, nope, no way. We can't do it. The sin of the spies is a question. What is it that they say? Because the truth is, the spies who come back say everything that you said it was going to be is true. And they even said there are great people there too. They're strong. Fortressed. And the sin of the spies and the strength of the 2 is the question for us. The spies say something remarkable. They use a word that we've used here at Romemu for throughout the year when we thought about what we might need to get us through from last year until this moment. From the moment where we closed down to the moment we opened up, we chose a word called strength, oz. We said we need to awaken strength. And the spies use that term, but they don't apply it to the community of Israel. They say, Efes ki az ha'am. They say, listen, we saw these great things in the land, but not you're strong. Not Efes ki az ha'am, meaning the Am, the nation, meaning you, Israelites. But Efes ki az ha'am, really they're strong. We're not so strong. They're strong. Oz, Az is not here, it's there. This is the great sin, according to almost all of the commentaries. This moment of disbelief, this moment of injecting into the community a sense of their frailty, of their fragility, of their weakness. Instead of leaders rousing them to the things that they could be, the leaders broke them down. And yet the two, Caleb and Joshua, these two, they said, no, don't believe that. Nachol, we can. Where did Caleb and Joshua get their strength? Caleb and Joshua, some argue, Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, alav shalom, the great Jonathan Sachs, argued that essentially we have here a story of fixed mindset and growth mindset. The 10 were with a fixed mindset. They saw failure and the possibility of falling as a deep, deep fear. And they pulled away. And so Rabbi Sachs said Caleb and Joshua somehow, maybe because of their ancestors, they were born with a growth mindset. I'd like to offer my own understanding of why Caleb and Joshua are special, what gave them the strength. I don't know if they were born into a community of growth mindset, as Rabbi Sachs invites. But I'll tell you, there's a midrash that really touches me and speaks to something that I've experienced throughout the year, and maybe you too. The midrash says that at one point, as Caleb and Joshua came into the land, they went to visit the cave of the ancestors, Ma'arat HaMachpelah. And the rabbis say that this journey to the cave of the ancestors, to the cemetery of where the ancestors had come, that gave Caleb strength and Joshua strength. It kind of immunized them against the voices of the 10 spies who were trying to break them down and weaken them. Just imagining that, I thought to myself, I could hear echoes of a conversation that maybe Abraham had with the spies, Caleb and Joshua, maybe saying, you know, there's a mountain called Moriah. I was tested there, and I succeeded, and so can you. I could hear echoes of Sarah, our matriarch, saying, I suffered for years with the scorn of infertility. I wondered if ever I would be miraculously given a birth. I succeeded, so can you. I could hear echoes of the story of Isaac, of his own binding that becomes his blinding, and him saying to the spies, I did it. And then Rebecca lines up and she says her story of perseverance. I had to leave my whole family behind, and then I had 2 twins I didn't really know, and it was confusing, and I went to seek out God, and I succeeded. And then Jacob and Rachel and Leah and all the ancestors came to Caleb and Joshua and said, you see, there's a history of people telling us that we can't, but we can. There's a history, you see, of those who suffered, those who had crisis and challenge, and we made it, said the ancestors, and so can you. And then Caleb and Joshua, just 2, they looked at one another and they said, are you feeling doubtful? And one would say, yeah, and the other would say, we can do it. Remember what they said at the cave? We can do it. And then they would go back and forth on a given Monday or Tuesday when they were just sitting in front of their screens with their pajamas on. And one would say, oh, we're never getting out of this place. And then just one would lean in and say, you know, we've been in worse places. We're going to make it. We're going to get there. Caleb and Joshua might not have been born with a growth mindset, who knows? But more than anything, they knew that eventually 10 people would come along and say, they're stronger than us, and 2 would have to say, no, all it takes is 1 + 1. All it takes is one person, because we're stronger together. We lift each other up. It had to be Caleb and Joshua. The story could have easily had just Joshua. He's a big guy. Could have been Caleb. He's a big guy. But the Torah wants to teach us, oh chavruta o mituta. Either we do it together or it doesn't go. And I can't stop thinking over the past 14 months, who has been the one that has turned to you and said, you can do it. We're going to make it. Who was the one that called you, texted you, set up a Zoom call? Was it Marsha Meislin? Was it Karen Goldstick? Was it Elise or Danny? Was it Keith, Barbara? Was it Ramit? Was it Allegra? Was it Scott? Was it Larry? Who was it in this space, in your life? The place where you went as you traveled towards this promised land and had to stop frequently, maybe, to be replenished, to be reminded. Think of that person now. Think about the moments throughout the last 14 months when you thought, there's no way. The 10 voices or 1,000 or 1,000,000 voices that were saying, are we ever getting out of this space? Are we ever getting out of the downward spiral of despair? Efes ki aza'am. Tell you, when I think of those conversations, and throughout the year, I had a song that often went into my head. I would think about what is the line that keeps coming up, and it was from Tracy Chapman. Often in the middle of the day, in the first couple of months, I would hear Tracy singing in my ear, going, all that you have is your soul. Everybody hear that song from Tracy Chapman? Some of these remarkable words. She said, right? Don't be tempted by the shiny apple. Hunger only for a world of truth. Hunger only for a world of justice. All that you have is your soul. You can hear Caleb going to Joshua saying, they're going to offer you everything imaginable because they need your vote. And Caleb is going, oh, maybe I'm going to. And then Joshua says, all that you have is your soul. All that you have is your soul. So here we come together tonight. We come together and we are the embodiment of something profound that Margaret Mead said. People know this quote, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Every single minyan, every single time 10 people get together to pray, we redo the story of the spies. Something remarkable about our prayer space is that the number 10 that was chosen as the minimum amount to do certain things is taken from those 10 spies who brought back an evil report, who said they're stronger than us. And every time we 10 get together, we remind ourselves that if we do it together, right, if we stronger together, there's nothing that we can't accomplish. I think for me, that's the reason why we have at the end of tomorrow's wisdom the story of these fringes, these tzitzit that are clearly meant to remind us of Caleb and Joshua. Every time we wear these, it's as if they're whispering to us, all that you have is your soul. You can do it. So as we gather together, all of us here, and God willing, more and more of us together in the same space. It's a blessing to remember how far we've come, to remember how far we have to go, and to remember it just takes two. It just takes two to remember how strong we can be. Please rise if you're able. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yalai, yalai, Olam chesed yibaneh. 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 Yalai, V'haya Melech ha'aretz v'yom ha'u yes Adonai echad into this sacred container, into this place of yes, of containing, behold, both the light of Shabbat and also the loss. And so on the screen in front of you, you'll see the names of loved ones we remember this Shabbat. Bertha Sutton, Kathy Maddie, Everett Duchin, Batya Ariel Bat Avraham, Elizabeth Deegan, Asaf Yafet, Steve Marcus, Eric Anthamiten Dominguez. We remember our beloved Evelyn Goodman, Arthur Siegel, Jason Andrew Brodsky, Dr. Norman Crane, Solomon Marenberg, Cecilia Romo, Stuart Fred Feit, David Winnicratt, Kimberly Hall, David Silverstein, Harriet Bloom, Shirley Siegel, Benjamin Wolf Talushkin, Beth Baldridge, and Devorah Stahl. We remember Lee Brox, Jean Foreman Shore, Ellsworth Levine, Erwin Bardash, Mr. Elsie Pops Floyd, Lynn Blacker, Shirley Gatzik, Grace Tendin Denmark, Rabbi Raphael Goldstein, Hamagid Yitzchak Buxbaum, Brady Rifkin, Lorette Nierenberg, Barry Kosky, Betty Levin, Seymour Borstein. We remember Leslie Robert Axelrod, Charlotte Figman and Stuart Saville, Lily Zemet, Julia Eisenberg, Shirley Marlowe, Gretchen Drury, Michael Fricano Jr., Nancy Traeger, Rabbi Dr. Henry Dicker, Robert Gerald Cohen, Angela Lam Margolis, Evelyn Manorama Goodman, Tav Sparks, Annie Esty, Marisa Nanyan, Henk Wesselman, Eric Press, Iona Miller, Jost Lundberg, Dr. Randy Baker, 600,000 U.S. COVID deaths, Irene Weiss Miller, Thelma Kirsch. We remember Evelyn Snyder, Sarah Malina Siegman, the Yortzeit of Yoel Yigal, and Aunt Joni's adored Abba, and Bobby William Miller, and Gussie Kaplan, Sidney Wall. We remember Rabbi David Cooper, Reverend Robert Grates, Harav Lord Jonathan Sachs, Mark Evan Beitman, Anne-Marie Zangara, Zati Munajat, and Ido Shefi. We remember all of those who are in the chat as well. Dvorah, Basrona, Chana, Bas Chayasara, Yortzeit for my grandfather David Simon. We remember all of those who are in the Facebook universe who are posting names, and in YouTube as well. If it is your custom to stand for the mourners, we invite you to please rise if that is your custom. The Kaddish can be found on the screen.
We remember Shoshana Bat Shimon Benecha.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. And people here, thank you. Thank you. David Steinmetz is saying Kaddish from the room for Kaddishes that he said in the Zoom, and it's for the Yortzeit of his parents, both of whom were niftar, were passed away in Nisan. Larry? So the 45th Yortzeit of Larry Schwartz's father, David Chaim. Yes, Neil? For Neil Markowitz's friend Joshua Rand. Anyone else? Peter? For Peter Hausberg. Yes. For your mother, Shoshana. The Mourner's Kaddish is now on the screen in front of you. Yiskadal v'yiskadash shemei rabba.
Amen.
V'yalmad divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'bizman koriv imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mivorach te'elam v'yamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitmamam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'alal shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shivata. Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'oma v'imiru. Amen. Yehi shlom rabba min shemaya v'chayim tovim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imiru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imiru. Amen. Yizichram baruch. And may their memories be a blessing. I invite you to please be seated for 3 more minutes, just 3 more minutes before we leave. And as you're leaving tonight, we're going to have a special gift for you to take with you. For those of you online and those of you who are on site, there are too many to name here who've been whispering into my ear throughout the year, giving me chizuk, giving me strength, and giving our entire community strength. But just a few to put into our cup of blessing tonight. On the very personal level, of course, my remarkable partner, my wife Ariel, who's with our boys in New Paltz, to my entire family, and also to this entire Romemu family, to our staff, our remarkable team, you'll see in a moment, but just here on site, Jeff Kahn, and to Natalia Arad and Sebastian Kern, who was here earlier, and Justin and Junior, all of those behind the scenes, our people on AV, Matt, and also Eliza Rivka, whom I lovingly call Costa Rivka, who is in Costa Rica, and all of those who can't be seen, but who are supporting this entire community, and of course those who are visible. Where would we be without our remarkable Rabbi Mira Rivera and Chazan Schechter, and the whole Korman family, Ariel, and Jerry, and of course Shoshana, whose heartbeat and whose hands give us a rhythm to move our own spirits and bodies.
And also Don Jacobs, who's also part of the sound team.
Thank you, Don, as well, tonight for being here with us. And like all of them are just this incredible team. And it was our desire tonight. We actually couldn't wait. We had originally said that we were going to open up the shul on June 11th, but we wanted to hurry up. We felt that we wanted to hurry. So as we leave tonight, before we make Kiddush, I want you to know that we're going to invite you to take a rose with you and a little bag of bisamim. And the meaning of that is many levels. One is that the Am Yisrael, the children of Israel, are compared to a rose in the Zohar, in the beginning of the book of Jewish mysticism. Kishoshana bein hachochim. Kin rayati ben abanot. The power of this remarkably beautiful flower is also that it has thorns. And nonetheless, right, it offers its beauty to us. In fact, not nonetheless, it's part of its beauty. That's what the Zohar says. And so this remarkable rose also represents the 13-petaled rose that have been made famous by Rabbi Adin Even Yisrael Steinsaltz, which represents the 13 attributes of rachamim, of loving kindness and compassion, which we so desperately need, and that also appear in tomorrow morning's parsha. And of course, lastly, for tonight, Shabbat is, of course, the 13-petaled rose, because Shabbat stands between two sixes. Shabbat's not the end of the week, it's the beginning and the end of every week. And so we hand this out to you, and we hope that all of you online are taking in rose, something. And then the Bisamim is because tonight is a Havdalah. There is a separation that is happening. A Havdalah that is inclusive, that isn't a division, but an invitation. The Talmud says that on Shabbat we have fewer blessings to make because we don't say the Amidah, traditional Amidah. And so the rabbis say, well, how are you going to make up your recommended daily allowance of blessings? They have to get to 100. So the rabbis say you should have little nuts that you eat, and you should also have fragrant things to smell throughout the day. And so we hope that throughout tonight and Shabbat itself, you'll smell this as often as possible. And it will remind you of this fragrance, the fragrance of community and of a new normal that we will together walk into, all of us. We invite you to please rise for the Kaddish. So one of the things that happened quite a bit over the last 14 months was, as those who lead prayers know, we get so used to hearing our own voices, and we so desperately want to hear other voices, right? And so I know that usually it's a custom for the clergy to make the Kaddish, but come on. I know, friends, I can't wait to hear all of you, so make Kaddish in the Zoom universe with us, okay? But here, in this space, I want all of us to make Kaddish together, and for us to rise as one voice. And I hope that that one voice will come into the various microphones and come into your hearts too, as one voice there as well. So ready, everyone? 1, 2, 3. Vayechulu hashamayim
Kol Zevam, Vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi, Melachto asher asa, Vayishvot bayom hashvi'i, Mikol melachto asher asa, Vayivarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i, Vayedesh oto, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
Savri Chaverai. Joyce Babik, Chaverai, Joyce. Delicious people, Ilana and Roberta. Ready, Abby? Baruch atah.
שבת קודשך באהבה ורצון הנחלתנו.
Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asher
Baruch atah Adonai. שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
בואו לכם לשלום,
מלאכי מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, אומרים מלך, מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. ממלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. במלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך הוא. Yay da 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 da, ay ya da 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 da, ay ya da 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 da, ay ya da 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 da, ay 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 da, ay 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 da, ay 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 ay, ay ya da da da.